Hello and welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Abid. I'm the host for today's session. Today we are on a webinar and it's been arranged by Simplilearn, one of the most credible training provider for digital age. Okay, it also offers, we also offer big data analytics, digital marketing, cloud computing, cybersecurity, project management, IT service and architecture, mobile software development courses. So we are here to help you in terms of the facts about Simplilearn. It's one of the leading professional learning, globally acclaimed, more than 50,000 learners, more than 2,000 enterprises with course completion percentage of more than 72%. And we have some great trainers, accredited trainers, 400 plus courses offered. So we at Simplilearn offer provides you the best learning experience, globally acclaimed. And with that note, today we are here on how to prepare your analytic team for your digital transformation, and it's by Ronald Van Loon. Uh, he's our speaker. Ronald helps data-driven companies generating business value with best-of-breed solution and a hands-on approach. He has been recognized as one of the top 10 global influencer by Data Economy for productive analytics, and by Cloud for data science, big data, business intelligence, data mining, and is great guest author on leading big data sites. He's also a speaker, chairman, and panel member of national and international webinars, events, runs on a successful series on big data and digital transformation. He has been active in data management domain for more than 18 years. He has founded multiple companies, now a director at advertisement leader in big data and data process management solution. He has brought interest in big data, data science, predictive analytics, business intelligence, customer experience, data mining, and uh, I mean, if you ask me, we have one of the great personality in terms of modern world on big data and data science. If you would like to connect with him, feel free to connect with him on Twitter or LinkedIn. Stay updated on success stories. So that's about Ron. Let me go ahead and unmute Ron and welcome him. Hey Ron, can you hear us?
Yes, Abid, thanks a lot.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate you having me here today, and thank you for the kind introduction, Abid. I want to thank all of our listeners for joining me today on this webinar event as well. Today there's more data and more changing behavior than ever before. And what we see is the progression of data don't really show any sign of stopping. And this has led to the need for businesses to revolutionize the way they manage their data and analytics. And with more channels, more devices, and more data to manage, the customer journey holds an incredible amount of impact and significance for your business. And modern customers want individualized and highly relevant experience that cater to their particular needs, their particular interest, and their preferences. So it becomes of the utmost importance for companies to make their mission to cater for the individual customer. And the sheer amount of data that businesses must harness in order to provide a positive experience to the customer is really overwhelming. In the last 2 years, over 90% of the world's data has been created. 90%, it's incredible. Everything generates data, from social media, mobile devices, website interactions, retail store purchases, everything. Every action that occurs on a mobile device, on a tablet, cellular phone, car, game devices, healthcare equipment, etc. Everything produces data and provides very valuable information about the individuals interacting with those devices. And if utilized properly, this customer information can be analyzed and applied towards creating an even greater, more individualized customer experience. So what we see, if we look into the near future, by 2020, 80% of the buying process will occur without any human interaction. Yes, you heard right. 80% of the buying process will occur without any human interaction. So organizations must increase their effectiveness in influencing the customer journey towards a positive one. Evolution of data and evolution from customer control has altered the way organizations manage their customer experience. And if you look like companies like Apple, Amazon, and Google, they are data-driven organizations who set the bar for personalized, positive customer experiences. Every other company should attempt to emulate this standard for their customer experience that are exceptional in all ways across all brand touchpoints. And it's about elevating the experience for the individual customer and making their personal customer journey the focal point of your business objectives. I spoke with the chief commercial officer from a leading data-driven airline recently about how their patrons utilize Wi-Fi while flying. And this amazing capability to be flying all over the world at 555 miles an hour, 35,000 feet in the air, and yet passengers get angry and frustrated when the YouTube movie is disrupted by a spotty Wi-Fi. But this is the norm now, because people have to come to expect a seamless, uninterrupted customer experience. Users become accustomed to a new experience in just 10 minutes, and after that time period, they're used to it and absolutely expect it to work. There's a sense of entitlement that it's connected to an individual interaction with a business and with the products and services. And businesses need to work harder to provide a fantastic customer experience, becoming customer-centric and ensuring that the individual customer is prime concern. And it should be at the forefront of any organization's list of priorities. So companies have to determine how to create an extraordinary customer experience when the customer is in control. But what's the driver behind all this change? Indeed, data analytics. Data and analytics drives the customer experience. Data and analytics is changing the customer experience, and it's providing new, enhanced way of businesses to interact with their customers and improve their overall journey. And data analytics are capable of going far beyond the typical insights and reports that you may be used to, and can have marvelous, compelling applications in relation to customer experience in ways that maybe almost feel futuristic. But I think, though, they're currently just a reality already. If you look to Facebook, Facebook uses facial recognition software to automatically tag images from photos that are uploaded onto a social media site. And here data analytics is utilized to identify Facebook users and suggest the names of friends or families that it has identified from the photos. This is also data analytics. PayPal uses data analytics through machine learning algorithms to detect in a mere split second trustworthy customers from those who pose a potential threat. And essentially, it's a decision-making tool that separates the good from the bad. And PayPal is able to combat fraud with this technique and applying it towards other areas of risk management as well. Yahoo collects a massive amount of data, everybody knows, and they analyze it to detect where cyber attacks is originating from. And it responds to this automatically. It's a form of system security that protects the entire organization and identifies where and how hackers are targeting their system. Also, this is data and analytics. And Snapchat uses data and analytics as a marketing tool to improve their engagement with the targeted audience, enablement to predict who will swipe an advertisement. So this also helps Snapchat to draw in advertisers and marketers with an optimized automatic bidding system. Through this tool, they have seen a 40% increase in efficiency in their cost per swipe. Microsoft Kinect, you probably know it from the gaming, put gaming into the hands of its users, and this is, I think you can see it even literally, by enabling a gamer to use their hands and their body as the controller. So basically they are the joystick. And data and analytics provide information that's used to define the body position and connect it to the gaming experience, and really in a revolutionary way. And gamers are able to interact with their video games in a manner that feels more immersive than traditional handheld gaming controls. And this as well is data and analytics. Through data and analytics, the healthcare industry is able to identify stages of cancer in patients through genome mapping and use the intel to guide therapy treatments. Machine learning techniques, patterns, and relationships with data are discovered and applied towards predicting future outcomes of this specific cancer. And this improves patient care and treatment techniques and ensures that doctors and other healthcare personnel are better able to provide the right therapy solution. Self-driven cars utilize data analytics in very exciting ways too, innovating how machine learning can respond to experience in the same manner basically as human drivers. They're mimicking the actions and learning experience from human drivers, and self-driven cars are able to recognize objects and perceive its environment and then define the action for the car, which improves automotive safety to an extensive degree. And the last example is hospitality and the customer care industry. They use data analysis to provide improved measures for call support through natural language recognition. Yes, natural language recognition is data and analytics, which is an example of cognitive analytics. It's the newest, most advanced trend in analytics world. It allows a better experience for your customers and builds loyalty by simulating an intelligent human conversation with those who call for assistance in any number of areas. And with all these compelling and innovative uses of data and analytics across the industries, organizations should not be limited by the information at their disposal. Data and analytics can be applied toward improving customer experience in ways restricted only by the imagination. So innovation can and basically should start today at your organization as well. If you look to the number of touch points, the number of customer touch points will only grow to continue about 50%. And about 50% of the customer journey goes over multiple channels. So one channel, for example, call center to the web. This is multiple channel. And 50% of the journeys are applicable to this. And companies need to be ready to be able to respond to this growth via all kinds of modern big data and analytics tools and technologies. And this is particularly important because the amount of customer touch points will increase substantially this coming years. There's even more touch points and ecosystems that are growing where you need to measure the whole customer journey. And this change is only constant. And all of these constantly changing customer behaviors, progression of data in the world around us, and the boom of amount of data generated in the last 2 years alone poses one important question. How do businesses organize to prepare for this change? And prior to detailing in real depth, I want to briefly outline the topics to be discussed today and offer an overview of how businesses can begin organizing and preparing for this change. Organizations need to focus on the following. First, multidisciplinary teams. Second, modern technology. Third, trusted analytic solutions. And fourth, maybe the most important, is the people, capabilities, and education. Your organization and processes includes creating an agile, multidisciplinary team that stresses the role of each team member, and whether it's a data scientist, an engineer, a designer, and it should be able to splitting data collection and application, and I will go in much more depth later on in the webinar. And this will spark unity across all these departments instead of the silos, and encouraging collaboration and sharing data and the insights from the data. Your technology should target trusted analytics for dependability and consistency of this data insights, as well for credibility and integrity of your data. This is supported by modern open source technologies, and you can think about technologies like Hadoop or technologies like Spark. Businesses have to be able to have a complete confidence in the data output. There should be trust. And a modern technology is the medium by which they attain data and analytics trust. Trust is really, really crucial in becoming a data-driven company and in managing your digital transformation. Your people and capabilities is vital towards organizing for your digital transformation, because data and analytics is a discipline that's relevant across all organizations. And whether you talk about finance, whether you talk about marketing, sales, operation, and any other department, they're directly influenced and affected by data and analytics. And you must have the right people and the right capabilities in place to efficiently and effectively manage it. Education is interconnected to this, as it's getting trained and obtaining knowledge in this field regardless of what the role you occupy within your organization. It can be an enormous impact to your career and how you relate to it and work with it. And this data, those who handle it and all the people around it that handle the data, even the IT personnel as well. And plus, given how rapidly technology evolves, people have to be able to keep the pace with the changes if they want to stay relevant and knowledgeable about the latest trends, latest tools, and latest technologies. It's amazing how fast this development goes. Organizations also need to move in maturity level from, let's say, compliant analytics, which is a first phase, to cognitive analytics, which I gave you the example with natural language recognition. And this natural progression, that's better described as the old adage, you need to learn to crawl before you can walk. And this is how businesses advance to become truly data-driven, not simply data-conscious. Business strategies and end goals become realized when a company reaches its full analytics potential. And lastly, companies need to become use case driven to develop more effective strategies and achieve their business goals. And these topics we will go in much more depth within this webinar. And constantly changing customer behaviors and the progression of data encourages business to ask three important questions. And this is also the topic for the webinar today. So how do you prepare your data and analytics team for digital transformation this year, not next year? And how to derive value from your data? And before that, how to become data-driven, of course. So what is the role of the customer journey and how to structure your organization? As I stated earlier, 50% of the customer journey are multi-channel, but they're also multi-event and cross-time journeys. So it becomes imperative for organizations to support cross-channel events to promote a positive customer journey. Regarding the use of silos versus multidisciplinary teams, it's imperative to understand the difference between the two. And I will go in more depth in the next slides. And it's important to understand why they impact businesses. Next level of improvement starts with setting up data management from multiple sources that reinforce reporting over all digital touchpoints. Companies need to make a positive impression on their customers at the moments of the customer interaction as they experience your brand. So if they're in contact with your brand at any touch point, and businesses need to move towards this step in the whole process towards a purchase, but even after the purchase, because with IoT, Internet of Things, you can also have insights in how people use your products. Consumers form strong emotional-based opinions about companies based upon these touch points. So every interaction, every touch point they have with your company, it's important. So it's crucial that it's a positive experience, or you risk losing your customers to your competitors. Ensuring that the touch points are positive throughout every channel is key, which is why organizations must have an agile multidisciplinary team. And silos only represent a single point of a customer journey, and they do not support customer journeys or experiences. Data is not shared across channels, and priorities don't align with other departments within your organization. It's difficult to build or support a positive customer experience from this structure when there's no internal unification across departments and across this channel. This insular approach to data analytics makes it very difficult to obtain a complete picture of your business data and a complete picture of the customer journey. So therefore, multidisciplinary teams support cross-functional events to create a positive customer journey. From mobile shopping to email campaigns to mobile marketing to sales, billing, live support, the customer journey occurs throughout a variety of channels that all must lead to a positive experience. Multidisciplinary teams encourage collaboration across the teams and management to promote a more unified focus on common goals, not departmental goals, emphasizing teamwork and helping to ensure that everyone is striving towards the same outcome to create a better customer experience. And silo-based organizations are not viable now, neither in the future. Departmental silos are inefficient, inaccessible, short-sighted, and self-centered. They hinder productivity and limit data accessibility across teams. They reduce efficiency, and they prevent the adoption and growth of data-driven culture. So how do you support a client in its customer journey if you work with silos? You can begin by focusing on a single important customer journey and improve parts of it by supporting the journey with just a few data sources. Very easy to start, very effective. However, businesses need to focus on a consistent path to purchase and path to relationship. Steer clear of the silo mentality and move away from traditional customer service approach. Preparing your team for this transformation means encouraging sharing information across departments, working together towards shared goals, and building an information ecosystem supported by data and analytics. And Netflix, I think, is a perfect example of a company who's utilizing a multi-channel approach to redefine the customer experience in the media industry and improve personalization of their content. The customer has so many options today and access to a wide range of streaming content at Netflix, but Netflix is able to deliver a very personalized content to their customers based upon the information provided by data and analytics. They're able to determine if a movie is watched to completion, if a user rewinds at certain points in the movie, where they navigate to after finishing the television show, how long they're in the Netflix app, and what they are searching for while they're engaging with the menu. And Netflix is accessing customer sentiment in real time because there's sophisticated application of modern data analytics techniques and ensuring that they can suggest content to the users that appeals to them on an emotional basis, which is fantastic. And Amazon is another such a company who takes an innovative multi-channel approach to driving customer experience to a whole other level of customization and innovation. They've introduced a smart speaker called Echo, which is the voice controlled, and it offers an interactive experience for the customers. The Echo learns about the person's needs and about his preferences, and it responds by delivering a seamless experience, as well as personalized purchasing suggestions on the Amazon, as it gets to know the customer how to use it. The more a customer interacts with Echo, the more responsive the device can be to a person's needs. So now to expand upon multidisciplinary teams. Multidisciplinary teams are comprised of data analysts, data scientists, designers, and project managers, all of which help businesses to respond fast to market changes and enable versatile knowledge of tools and technologies that you can apply to make improved decisions. For example, a customer who submits a mortgage application requires support from an entire team. He's not dealing with a single person over the course of his entire application. The customer submits his mortgage application and speaks to marketing representative about pre-qualification requirements. Then the application goes through a various processing in multiple departments until it's finally approved and moves into closing. And this occurs over multiple departments and is handled by different teams who have to share data about the individual customer in order to process his application swiftly and bring it to an accurate conclusion. This example demonstrates the effectiveness and importance of multidisciplinary teams working together towards a positive outcome for the customer. And multidisciplinary teams are the best way to promote integration and collaboration of data insights, ensuring that a positive customer experience is the responsibility of the entire interdepartmental team, so not only from one department. Agile multidisciplinary teams are also important for supporting data management and data governance. It's about capability, resources, and processes. There needs to be roles for data engineers, for data scientists, data analysts, and a project manager within an agile customer-centric team. So what roles need to be filled for a data science team? You will need to have a data scientist who can work on large data sets and who understands the theory behind the science. They should be able and capable of developing predictive models. And data engineers and data software developers are important too. They need to understand the architecture, the infrastructure, and the distributed programming. The exact team configuration is of course dependent upon your situation and whether you're in as well in the application, where we go in depth later on in the application part, or you're in the part of data management, big data management, and advanced analytics. And some of the roles to fill in a data science teams include data solution architect, data platform administrator, full stack developers, and designers. And if you have a team that has a lot of skill, that is low in real world experience, you may also want to have a project manager on the team. And they can help keep up the team on the right track and encourage productivity. And with the support and capability of a multidisciplinary team to foster a data-driven culture in your organization, and your ability to execute a positive customer experience is not only possible, but if you organize like this, it's even expected. Next to the organizational structure, technology is key in your digital transformation. Regarding infrastructures and technologies, business needs the power and the capability of fast, accurate data infrastructure provided by modern technology and analytic solutions. A traditional tool-based approach per department features a data landscape whereby data collection and preparation is part of the processing and storage. So it's the whole chain from data management that's managed by this, let's say, departmental tools. Organizations that to continue with this silo-driven approach will struggle with empowering their business users and are unable to share data visualization across the departments, across your whole business, and they have no data portability. So they cannot share your data to all the different sources. And they rely on consolidated enterprise stacks. Data is simply isolated, and businesses are forced to be limited by their means to utilize and apply data to its full potential. Multiple tools contain the complete process of data creation, collection, processing, storage, and utilization, and work together to improve the operation of analyzing the data. High-performance data analytics tools provide businesses with proactive means to attain insights from their information and make it easier for organizations to manage large volumes of data. a fully integrated point solution, enable companies controlled, tool-agnostic, and robust technologies that are 100% GDPR compliant. And this is, I think, mainly for the European audience today. There's a new law in 2018 where you need to be compliant. It's a new law on privacy, and you are allowed to ask for approval for everything, how you use the data. Probably it's less relevant for the US and for the Indian audience today. Organizations utilize a modern approach to data and analytics, have full control over the data, and they are able to accommodate diverse data sets and can combine large amounts of data from various departments and systems. And additionally, data is better governed and managed without requiring specialized support from IT. So the main point over here is the data collection and the creation should be centralized. Currently, no company is doing this, but it's important to become data-driven and to create a data-driven culture. And then if you have to select technology, businesses may be wondering which data analytics tool to use when there's a plethora of tools which you choose from. You see an overview over here, which is only a selection. Closed source versus open source options. They're depending, of course, on the specific needs that you have on your organization, and as well on the technical resources you have and the people you have in your organization. However, open source is starting to become more popular trend as it becomes more and more mature, and more business want to have end-to-end solution and end-to-end access to data and emphasize trust and collaboration. And open source tools and stacks become better and better for this as well. So trusting the data that you use is vital, which is why businesses need to emphasize the importance of trusted analytics. Credibility of an analytic output supported by process that's able to build trust on the insights promotes a modern data and analytics environment. You have to build your stack with the right people, processes, and collaboration for the best data management. And it's important to use a data and analytics stack from tools that work well together and cover 4 important disciplines. You have to cover the security, the software framework, the data science toolkit, and a collaboration. These 4 disciplines model covers analytics tools but do not cover the application part. So the application where the users in the department normally use it. For example, organizations should integrate an open source data management stack. That's a combination of various tools that provide a complete solution, so a stack. And it's scalable, modular, and again promotes collaboration and thriving a data-driven culture. An example for this is CAVE. It's KPMG framework, and is an example of a big data platform that's well designed and adapted to the situation for all different kinds of sizes. It embraces an holistic approach to data science, inclusive security, a software framework, a data science toolkit, and collaborative tools. And CAVE generates a flexible data environment that evolves with an organization and can grow with it. Open source technologies, as we've discussed, are ideal to create an intelligence sharing and cooperation, cooperative organization that promotes transparency of data and an open exchange of your information. The ease of scalability is also an appealing factor for businesses who predict expansion or migration at some point in future. Open source technology benefits everyone, not just the programmers which have specialized knowledge in this. Businesses users can have power over their own data in real time and leverage business solutions accordingly. Currently, tools and solutions like Hadoop and Spark are 2 of the most popular big data frameworks. Spark is becoming increasingly desirable and is supported by large companies like IBM as well, which gives an enormous boost, and its simplicity and high quality performance capability and its flexibility are extremely valuable assets for a variety of business models. However, its speed is a highly coveted quality among many organizations, as it's real-time processing which can be used in a variety of big data applications. Hadoop is also a popular choice for companies that have massive, complex data sets that require an effective solution in a reasonable, quick time frame. For processing large data sets, it's an excellent option. Hadoop also has its own distributed file system, which is fundamental to many modern big data projects. Spark and Hadoop are compatible and can be used together to generate big data solutions. And some businesses install Spark on top of Hadoop, where Spark Advanced Analytics application can utilize data stored within the Hadoop distributed file system. And other popular tools, analytics tools, include even Excel, but also SAS, R, and Python, and BI tools like Tableau. And there's only one simple reason why they use these type of tools is to increase cost effectiveness, usability, customization, and scalability to your end user. We discussed organizational structure and technology. Next, we will discuss the most important assets you have in your organization, and that's your people. Data and analytics are critical to your business, and they're relevant to all other disciplines in your organization, whether it's finance, whether it's marketing, whether it's sales, operation, technology. All are interconnected departments that are supported by data and analytics. And this is empowered by the expertise and skills of your people and their individual and collective roles within your organization. Companies have to organize analytics, which is the support aspect of your infrastructure, per department and customer journey and centrally. To create a visualization for this concept, picture it as a representative of the heart of your organization, supporting all other functions. Data analytics, data governance, data management, visualization, and data science are enabling and supporting operational excellence and a positive customer journey. Continuing with the visualization of a business as a functioning organic life form. Imagine your company's data analytics personnel as the brains of your organization. They support knowledge and skills and fulfill specialized roles that enable the successful operation and fulfillment of your company's strategies and goals and the outcomes. Deciding whether it's best to outsource or rely on in-house personnel or utilize a combination of the two options in order to speed up the process is a very important consideration. Businesses need to avail themselves of whatever resources are going to be best facilitate a fast-paced modern data and analytics environment. And there's a need for 1 million data scientists by 2018. And we're witnessing a widening data scientist gap that's a barrier to business growth even. And companies have to utilize and deliver insights to keep achieving innovation and to achieving their business value. But how do we solve this dilemma of a shortage of data scientists? Education and training of your team is absolutely crucial. And continued education is just as important, as hiring and recruiting externally is an expensive alternative to internal education. Cost efficiency would suggest that business leaders look to internal solutions for education, not only look outside. Data science is a highly sought after and lucrative career option as well, with available positions across a diverse range of industries. And education will help motivate a professional to get their foot in the door. Those people who are already data scientists can still benefit from education to further hone and refine their skills and stay relevant within a rapidly evolving technology-based industry. Education is also important so that everyone in the organization speaks the same language and can communicate effectively and efficiently with one another. And technology changes extremely fast, and people need to stay up to date to derive the most value out of their data. Knowledge of data gives business users the power to predict the future outcomes and gain insight as to risk and to business opportunities. Companies need and want professionals who are certified in data science, in data analytics, and other relevant specializations, and who possess knowledge of data trends and modern tools and technologies. And getting certified in a relevant field guarantees basically your career growth. So how do businesses manage these challenges? An organization's maturity phase indicates the effectiveness of your ability to accurately utilize data to drive business decisions and promote an excellent customer experience. A mature organization can offer valuable data and analytics services that are aligned to and progress with business priorities and with business strategies. They're also able to provide governed access to data wherever it exists within an organization and can give meaning and context to it. And they are more innovative in their data application and can predict future outcomes. Organizations have to be use case and customer journey driven to improve the customer experience. We've discussed it before. And remember the crawl before you walk analogy that I mentioned earlier. Starting with data insights, a business has to move from data awareness step by step to predictive analytics. Start at the beginning. The maturity phases start with descriptive analytics, whereby data is used to comprehend the past and the present. This is the initial stage of an organization development, a stage in which a business is looking back at historical data and producing standard reports. Data is utilized to answer questions about what happened in the past. But as historical data can only reveal a limited amount of information, this phase is detrimental to generating business value and determining where the future customer will come from and discovering insight about future issues that will affect your organization. From there, it progresses to predictive analytics, the developing stage of a business analytics maturity. The maturity phase, in this maturity phase, companies are able to examine data and apply it towards predicting the future trends and predicting the activities that your customer will apply. It enables organizations to answer questions such as, what would happen if I change this specific variable? Techniques utilized in this stage include predictive modeling, forecasting, and statistical analysis. Predictive analytics enables risk and opportunity assessment to its best advantage. For example, airlines use predictive analytics to forecast mechanical failures so that they can minimize flight cancellations and delays. Data is applied in real time to predict the type of mechanical issue that will cause a delay or cancellation within the next 24 hours, enabling airlines to take preventative measures. This results in an improved customer experience because people aren't aggravated and forced to change their travel plans last minute. Next, prescriptive analytics is where they are capable of predicting future outcomes and prescribing the ideal course of action as they learn from their data insights. And according to sources such as Gartner, 10% of organizations use some form of prescriptive analytics. Only 10%. But this will grow to 35% by 2020. And then cognitive analytics is the final stage, driving innovation and technology transformation into the future. A cognitive system offers real-time solutions and on-demand insights and learning from interactions and existing information. So lots of things are going on, but you run a business. And how to start tomorrow in your own business. How to start simply, how to start to crawl. How do you start your digital transformation tomorrow? First, focus on education and certification. You won't be able to advance in your chosen career or communicate with members of your team when there's a skill barrier standing in the way. You need to possess the knowledge and the language to stay abreast of current technologies, tools, and industry trends, and give the pace of growth and innovation for data analytics. It's wise to stay educated so you can continue to be relevant in this field. Also, start by prioritizing your customer journey. You can begin by improving one important journey for your business and just connect 1, 2, 3 data sources, starting small and building upwards. Working towards creating favorable customer experience should be the main goal to keep aiming for, but starting small and realistically with one customer journey. That's a good place to begin. Start simple, but start tomorrow. Digital transformation cannot occur without concentrating on applying internal efforts towards using data and obtain better, more trustworthy insights. So start by splitting your data collection, as showed in the example from the infrastructure, and your application, and enable all departments and disciplines within an organization to work together more predictively and wield full control over your data. Trusted insights will help you to generate value from your data and leverage it to enrich your opportunities and your business potential. You should start also implementing your customer-centric multidisciplinary team, including a data analyst, a data scientist, data engineers, and project managers. You want to build cooperation and sharing across your organization and improve capabilities, resources, and processes that will help you develop better business solutions. With a multidisciplinary team supporting functions and providing diverse skills and knowledge, you can work towards creating a high-quality, personalized customer experience, because that's in the end the aim you're achieving for. And start with data insights to move a step-by-step is a move towards step-by-step going to predictive. But this can be a long road. So you can eventually develop it into an advanced maturity phase. But take your time. Building analytics trust along this path is crucial. Enable your business users to perform their own analytics without the need of IT. Very important. Self-service. Enable them. And benefit from improved decisions making based upon accuracy and deeper insights derived from more complex information. Mature use of analytics not only reshapes the customer experience for better, but it also alters your entire infrastructure to make data-driven analytics more ubiquitous throughout your company. And being data-driven is what will inform your decisions for optimization your business. Bring this webinar to a close. I want to reiterate the importance of receiving a solid education and acquiring the knowledge and skills that are necessary to ensure your career growth, and keeping the gap, the 60% gap of data scientists in mind. Remember that education and certification will best position you to respond to this need. Those who are looking to get certified in data science and move into the professional landscape can also, of course, look at the courses from Simplilearn and get started your journey to becoming a participant in this rapidly accelerating industry. It's fascinating. Professionals already in this field consider getting continued training and certification courses that will enable you to involve with the technology and tools you trade with. So don't let yourself behind. Ensure that you can keep up with transforming your digital world and create it yourself. I would like to extend an invitation now to all the listeners and open up the webinar for any type of question.
Thank you so much for that, Ron. And before we go ahead and do a quick question and answer session, I would like to launch the poll and request each one of you to just select and take up the poll for a minute. It will take less than 30 seconds to just give your poll, so do not skip that. And we are open for the questions now. Ron, we have a question coming in from Shravan who says, any challenges faced by the new world companies introducing IoT? Example, the industry version 4, typical manufacturing or industry on this. So if you could provide some insights on this question, please.
Okay, so IoT, Internet of Things. So basically every device, whether it's a car, whether it's your mobile, computer, a garage door, every device is basically, there are sensors added to these devices. So every device generates data. And if you look to the whole data chain, you start collecting data from the customer journey. And the customer journey starts when there's a first contact with your client. And it can be via a banner, it can be online, it can be in a retail store, it can be from a call center. There's a first contact. And this whole journey from first contact, going to a tablet, going to a mobile, going to a retail store, ordering something, and start using the product, where the products start, let's say, sending data, is this whole journey. And IoT is just an extension of the data journey. So IoT gives companies the ability and the possibility to improve even better their customer experience, because they can understand better their clients. But this also brings some additional challenges. So challenges, if you start collecting data from devices, one important challenge is security. So how to solve your security for your device, that the device is not hacked. Another challenge is data governance. Who owns the data, and how to get consent, approval, how to use this data. The third item is, let's say, the volume and the variety and the veracity. So there's tremendous amount of data that is generated from all these sensors. So how to handle this? How can all systems handle this? And there you see the requirements for real-time processing and technologies like Spark that should be applied to manage this in your, let's say, whole architecture. So there are technical challenges on one hand, and on the other hand, of course, there's people and processes. So how to manage all your processes internally, to collect this data, to process it, and to derive value and insights from it. This means that you cannot work as a department, as a product department, for example, and you're responsible for the product. No, you should work from a team, a multidisciplinary team, which is responsible for the whole customer journey from first contact, maybe to product application. And within this team, you can split it up in small teams, and you can improve important parts from your products, for example. And there you can split up your smaller team, but there will be people involved from sales, from marketing, from customer service, from your product development, and also data analysts and data scientists. So IoT brings a whole range of opportunities, but also a whole range of challenges that needs to be managed.
Thanks for that. And Ron, the next question is, what should be the ideal data science team for the marketplace starting up using consumer insights for what spending patterns? So you have any analysis on this?
Yeah, so
Uh,
ideal team
in terms of success rate on conversion. I'm sorry.
So ideal team really depends on the situation. I think important, if you start defining a team, it's defining from which touch points you have in your customer journey, so and which departments are involved in this customer journey. So is there people from marketing involved? Is there people from sales involved? Customer service? So which touch points are you improving? So this is, I think, the foundation if you talk about teams. If you then start talking about what, let's say, data analytics people should be involved, if you look from the application side, there should be an analyst involved in the team. If you, as mentioned already, if the team is a little bit less mature, you should involve a project manager. If you look to the part where you need to have a data scientist, so if you need to have your data, let's say, collection, your processing, providing insights, defining models, if you're at this level from predictive analytics, you need to have a data scientist. For collecting the data, you need to have a data engineer, somebody who can collect the data, take care for the data quality, and take care basically that the data governance is managed as well. So there's not a fixed team that generates the ideal team, but there's a number of different roles that should be basically part of this team, and you really define this. You define this depending on the customer journey and the purpose that that you want to achieve. If you're more, let's say, in the data management part, so then you have people that understand the architecture, understand the infrastructure, understand the distributed programming. So then you need the much more data, the technology side from the data. If you're more on the application side, you need more the people that are into analysis, so the business analyst and the data analyst.
Okay, thanks. And there is a question on certification as well. This goes on to organization which that is embarking on being better at the data and data-driven marketing place or client. What will your recommendation on the startups?
So if I understand the question well, what do I recommend startups from certification perspective?
For the organizations which are being data-driven.
For startups.
Correct.
Yeah, and I think if you look, let's say, whether you are a startup or whether you're a mid-sized company or whether you're a very large corporate, you see the way that companies start organizing to be data-driven is from a customer's journey perspective and is from a multidisciplinary team perspective. So what you see is anyhow you start with working with small multidisciplinary teams, and if you are a startup, of course you don't have less legacy, so which is much easier compared to the large corporation. But in fact the core way of working, this agile way of working, is the same. So also from the perspective of education and certification, certification is crucial to stay up to date with the fast changing technology. It's crucial to speak the same language, and it's crucial to let's say stay up to date with all the knowledge that you need from programming perspective and analytics perspective. So it doesn't differ that much whether you're a startup or whether you're a large corporate, because you need to think from small teams and define the education that you need from the small teams that you, let's say, have all required capabilities within the team for the phase you're in. And whether you're in the descriptive phase and just look back, you need other capabilities than you are working with predictive models or even working on cognitive analytics. So there's also a huge difference from this maturity perspective. So I would say it's not the company size that defines how to define your education. It's more the type of customer journey and the maturity phase you're in that defines what type of education and what kind of certification you need at that moment. But I think it's good for the person who asked this question to go more in depth what his situation is and discuss his situation and see how we can help them with a nice, let's say, path how to develop the capabilities within their teams.
Great. And in terms of technology, the last one for you on this run, and how would your cloud benefit this data-driven journey, and how can any barriers can be overcome? So, in case if
So
you have any barriers on cloud adaptation, so how can we overcome?
okay, I think the choice for clouds really depends on your industry as well. So if you look to the financial industry, governmental, they have a lot of regulations. So the choice for cloud or on-premises or a hybrid solution is depending on rules, on governance, on security issues that you have. So there's not, let's say, a black and white answer for this. So depending on the industry, you see different type of choices, either cloud, either on-premise, or either a hybrid solution. And if you look to the maturity and the possibilities, cloud, of course, is easier and faster often in your deployment. But the core in the end is there should be analytics trust. And if you cannot govern your data that fits with your processes within your organization, it will not work. So cloud is not the route. The route depends really on your business and depends on your requirements. But I think from technology perspective, it doesn't matter too much whether it's cloud, hybrid, or whether it's on-premise solutions. All solutions exist and all solutions work well, and all solutions have its own challenges, of course. So it's more a matter of the correct execution than of the one over the other choice.
All right, thanks. And the last one again on certification. What will be the basic certification in which the one should choose to take up?
So yeah, as well, back to the answer I provided already before. Certification really depends in the phase where you are. So whether are you starting with data, you're more in the descriptive maturity phase, are you already looking ahead with data and start predicting, are you building predictive models, are you in the area of cognitive analytics. This really depends on what type of certification you need and where you are, and it's really, let's say, a mix of blended different type of roles and different types of certifications you need to have the ideal team. So for every question, if you're not looking to a person but more to a team within your organization, I rather start with the question, okay, what's your maturity? What's your type of customer journey, in which, let's say, which industry you're in, and based upon this, we can define the best route for, on one hand, certification and education and developing your capabilities from your team along with your process that you're going through the maturity phases. Instead of saying, okay, this is the best certification for you, it really depends on the situation. So sorry, that's no concrete answer, but if it was this this easy, yeah, then I think data analytics was, let's say, a much more mature department already the last 50 years. But it's not that easy. It's a tough job, but it's something that is mature now and can be evolved very quickly.
Great, Ron. Thank you. And that was the last question from my end. And again, thank you so much for all your expertise on in the knowledge post. Uh, Guys, again, you have done the right choice, attending the Simplilearn website or the webinar, the most credible training provider for the digital age. So we look forward to interact with you on any aspect of the upcoming learnings. And once again, I would like to thank Ron all the attendees, Priyanka, on this session. Uh, do fill out the feedback form at the end of the session. Not skip that. It's important that we get to know your insights on this. Again, thank you so much, Ron. We'll come to a closure now, and see you next time on the next session. Thanks.